Welcome back to Colorado Sports Connection. We're coming to you from Big Bill's New York Pizza in Centennial, and we continue our talk with Jim Saccomano. Well, we talked about John Elway. Let's now talk about the head coaches you worked with. I begin starting with Red Miller.
Red Miller was the first. Long-time football guy, regular guy, hard-nosed, fiery, competitive. We're still very, very good friends. And Red was just a down-to-earth, regular guy, expected his team to play hard, always had him prepared, as all of these coaches did, really.
Now, Dan Reeves comes in, and I see the hiring in the newspaper, and I'm excited because now I'm like, why, this guy's coming from the Dallas Cowboys under Tom Landry, and he played, and he looked like a competitor.
He was a tremendous competitor, a fierce competitor. In fact, when people talk about, well, Elway and Reeves would get after it, yeah, of course they got after it. They were both the same kind of guy. They were really fiery guys who wanted to win, and the history is full of coaches and quarterbacks who had that situation, just absolutely fiery, competitive, in the best way, combative guys. And Dan was a great coach. I mean, he was here 12 years, had a tremendous record, and was very cooperative with the media, as really all of these people have been, because you have to be. But I also value him as a dear, dear friend.
Now, with Dan Reeves, you go to Super Bowls 21, 22, and 24.
Right.
Explain that, because I know there were people saying, Denver, please don't go to the Super Bowl if you're going to put on another performance.
Yeah, which was kind of ridiculous, because again, you can't win it if you're not in it. So you cannot, as a performer, have the you can't be afraid of the spotlight. This is a sports version of the biggest stage there is. You can't be afraid to compete. And so the team, like fans may have said that, but as a team, you believe you can win every game. In fact, Josh McDaniels has said every game, there's a formula for winning every game. Executing it is not easy, but there's a way to win any game you play. But yeah, we had great success. I don't like to say we were a one-man team, but John Elway carried those early Super Bowl teams on his back. He really did, Darryl.
And talk about that coaching staff, because it's not easy going to Super Bowls back-to-back.
No.
I've heard people say you can get there once,
yeah,
but it's
very
more
hard.
difficult.
And Dan did a great job. Joe Collier, of course, was the defensive coordinator. We also had a young guy cutting his teeth on that staff, Mike Shanahan, Alex Gibbs. There were some legendary figures on that staff who time has shown. Gibbs, one of the great line coaches in football history. Mike Shanahan, what can you say? And Joe Collier, who's in the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame. This is a very strong coaching staff leading these players to those 3 titles.
And then after Dan Reeves, we move on to Bum Phillips.
Well, Wade Phillips.
Wade Phillips, I'm sorry.
Bum's son, Wade. Wade's a great guy, and again, a dear friend. A little lower key guy, and kind of an aw shucks Texan with a great personality and a great storyteller. And he was here 2 years. And I think Wade was victim of the standard we have in Denver. By then, we sit here now with 41 consecutive years of sellouts and the best home record from 73 to 2010. That's a heck of a standard. Wow. And so Wade was basically 8-8, 8-8, and he was out. We were very impatient at that time, and of course had a chance for Mike Shanahan to come in. Again, the rest is history, but he's probably the victim of the high standard that coaches have always had here in Denver.
With Mike Shanahan coming in, leading us to the Super Bowl victory, what did that mean to you personally after all those years working for the Broncos?
Well, I'd had 3 rings from the 3 AFC Championship victories. It meant being part of one of the greatest teams in NFL history. In a 3-year period, we won the Super Bowl twice and had 46 wins. Now that's the most wins and Super Bowls in a 3-year period ever, until the Patriots went to a total of 48 wins. Wow. 2 titles again and 48 wins. So what we did there in that 3-year period is still the second greatest 3-year span in the history of pro football. It was gratifying, satisfying. You work for a goal and you wonder, will it ever happen? You don't give up faith. And with a lot of people contributing, but certainly and primarily John Elway and Mike Shanahan working together, that was a great, great ball club. And it's gratifying, satisfying. You run out of adjectives and to apply to it, but it was really the highlight of a career. Then, of course, we're greedy, so you hope for more, and we keep trying to get more, but it's very difficult to top what that team did.
Those two and others definitely brought some great accomplishments here, to Denver. But you've also had some great accomplishments that I want to talk about when we come back as the public relations director. We'll continue our talk with Jim Saccomano right here on Colorado Sports Connection.
One thing about Castle Pines Jewelers is that you'll always walk away with a good experience. We have quality jewelry, it's one-of-a-kind pieces, it's custom design. We have our unique style, and it's your style also that you can put into it. We have a full shop on premises. We create a lot of our pieces here. We're not your average jewelry store. We're your hometown jeweler. We've been in the area for a long time. We love what we do for our community here.
Visit Castle Pines Jewelers, one-of-a-kind jewelry for one-of-a-kind customers.